Hey, what's up, guys? We got UFC Fight Night Perth. We're doing a breakdown on every single fight on the card, starting off with the women's. We got Loma Luke Bame and Alexa Thurana. So I'm going Alexa. So the main thing with Alexia, she's a grappler, and she's really imposing as a grappler. She showed it against Molly McCann. Now, Molly McCann isn't the best example of a good defensive grappler. Loma will be a little better. However, Loma kicks a lot, and Alexa does catch kicks. So that right there is a bad sign. Alexa will be the bigger woman. So if Loma decide not to throw kicks, then she's going to be in boxing range, which is susceptible to a clinch. And then from there, Alexa also can get the takedown. Alexa does throw looping shots, so if Loma have good boxing, she possibly can succeed there. But that's the main reason why I'm choosing Alexia. I just don't like the takedown defense from Loma, and I don't like the excessive kicks against a grappler. And I don't know if she got the boxing to not do the kicks. I think they go hand in hand, especially with her Muay Thai style. So that's why I'm going with Alexa in that fight. And for the next fight, we got Brando Perekic and Elisha Ellison. So this is a heavyweight fight. Disclaimer. I'm gonna go with Brando. I've been hearing a lot of good things about him from one of my mates. So I did look at. So I am a little biased towards him. I'll be honest, but Elijah honestly didn't look really good. I do think Brando is better than Elijah. I think that's what it just come down to when picking these fights. Um, because Elijah got low hands. He's athletic for a heavyweight, and good instincts. But look, the fight that Elijah lost, he lost to like somebody that like he lost to like a bad opponent. Like I know his record was good, but like if you watch that fight, it just didn't look good. So that's my main concern with um like even considering choosing Elijah. But Brando, he's a trained out of city kickboxing. He's very big and strong. He got good striking, but he also has good grappling as well. So he got the striking and the grappling, trained out of city kickboxing, and he overwhelms his opponent. And like I said, if you see Elijah lost, then you would totally understand why people are high on Brando, and that's why I'm picking Brando. The next fight we got Luana Carolina and Michelle Montague. So I'm gonna go with Carolina here. I see Michelle as a big favorite or a moderate favorite, and this is her UFC debut. But you gotta remember this: if you watch Michelle fight, she does have really good grappling. She imposes her grappling. But when she when it gets a little jump in competition, it was rough to get the takedowns. And Carolina has won against like these specialists in grappling, and she has done fairly well. She's on a 3-fight win streak. She's active. And the thing that I like about Carolina, the reason why I'm picking her, when she gets taken down, she does not give up her back. Usually, when Michelle takes women down, they give up their back, and then she get that rear naked choke. I think Luana is good in the clinch, so she'll be fine there, and she actually does land damaging strikes, which you want to see from women's MMA. And I also think that Michelle, she fights on the back foot, so she does shoot well. I will be honest, Michelle does shoot well. She is a takedown threat. She is a sub threat, but she doesn't get every single takedown. Sometimes it takes a lot for her to get somebody down, and she does have the cardio to do so, so it's not a concern. But against this jumping competition against Carolina, I don't think Carolina hasn't seen this before. Carolina has seen this plenty of times. She went against strong grapplers. She's done well. She lost fights as well, but she also she's on a 3-fight win streak. And I like that she doesn't give up the back, and she does have good scrambles. So that's why I'm going with Carolina to win the fight. And for the next fight, we got Colby Thicknesse. I wonder how you pronounce his name. But Colby Thicknesse and Josias Musasa. I'm going Josias. So he did lose to Vera. He was a big. He won a split decision on the Contender Series. He was a big favorite in this fight against Vera, and he lost. I think he got rocked and got finished. But Colby is looking to grapple and throw overhands. I think that game plan is fairly simple. Now he is effective at it, but that's what he's looking to do. He's looking to grapple and throw overhands. I think Josias he's very powerful on the Contender Series. He did go against a good grappler, not a good grappler, but he went against a guy that tried to grapple him, and he did fairly well in the clinch exchanges. In the clinch, when you're strong, you can lack technique. And on the ground, he finds the cage to get back up. So he's doing the good things that you want to see from somebody who's maybe not like a high level black belt. He's a strong athletic guy, as far as being like a legit like Hoist Gracie black belt. He's not that. But he's doing the proper things. He's in the clinch, being strong when he gets to the ground, not panicking, getting against the cage and building his way back up. And I think he will do that in this fight. And I think I think he can get his striking going. He lost his first fight. That's fine. Now let's get back going. See if he can get the win. I do like him to win this fight. And the next fight, these fights are a little out of order, so bear with me. But we got Jamie Mullarkey and Ronaldo Bedoya. I'm going Jamie Mullarkey. Bedoya hasn't looked good in the UFC. Now Mullarkey is a victim, so this is a risky pick. But Bedoya, we know he's going to go for low kicks. And my thing with him is he doesn't move his head and he doesn't set up his hands. Like he got really good low kicks. I will admit that. But beyond that, yeah, excuse me, I don't see much else that he has at a UFC level. Malarkey has won the UFC. Usually he loses to guys that got really good not dynamic strike, but good powerful strikes and also dynamic striking. It's not limited to dynamic striking, but Bedoya, he just doesn't set up his hands enough for me to pick him to land like a power shot on Malarkey. I do understand why somebody would pick him. I personally not picking him. But Mullarkey does have a good jab. When he doesn't get rocked, he does stick and move pretty well. And he can mix up the takedown. I think he will be the faster man. So that's why I'm going with Jamie Mullarkey. I know it's crazy that we're choosing Jamie Mullarkey in 2025, but he's going against Ronaldo Bedoya. So that's that. And for the next fight, we got Oban Elliott and Jonathan Micallef. So Oban Elliott he had a hype train until last fight. And the last fight he kind of got beat down. Now let's talk about Oban Elliott. I think he points fight. I think he point fights, and that's what like fails him a lot of time trying to point fight. Cause some guys going in here trying to hurt you. And he's sitting there point fighting. His boxing defense isn't where I would like to see. He's clinch and wrestling heavy, which is predictable. And I don't think he's at the level to be clinch and wrestling heavy to where he's dominating every guy. He is Welch after all. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. He's good. Bogan Elliott has good low kicks and deep kicks. He does have good grappling. But I don't know if it's at a level where he could dominate other UFC fighters with the good grappling. Now, Jonathan is like tall and lanky. He looks like like he's unfamiliar with his body, if you kind of understand what I'm saying. Like he looks a little uncomfortable on the feet, but he's a good fighter. He's very scrappy. He's super kick heavy, which you got to watch against good grapplers. But I do think he got the guard game to get back to his feet. He is dangerous from the bottom, actually. I think he can get back to his feet. I just don't think Oban Elliott will be able to hold him down for 3 rounds, and that's where I don't think he'd be able to hold him down for most of the round, every round either. So that's where it gets a little tricky. That's why I'm not choosing him. Um, He's a little weak in the clinch. I will say that, but he is scrappy. He got nice hands. He will have to strike an edge in this fight. And I just after Oban Elliott's last performance, I am shying away from him as the future of the division. And I'm not saying Jonathan is going to be the future either, but I'm not picking him in this fight just because his last fight he just didn't look impressive. So that's why I'm not picking him in this fight. And this fight is going to be one of my favorite fights. We got Andre Petroski and Cam Rowston. I'm not a fan of Cam Rowston. I will admit, maybe he can win me over, but I think the way he lost to Torres Finney, that can be the same way in this fight. Just because he beat a guy on the Dana White Contender Series who's not a UFC level guy doesn't mean he's going to go out there and beat Andre Petroski. Petroski is a really good grappler. He does have trouble with explosive strikers. Cam Rose is not an explosive striker. Now, these words come bite me in the butt because it is a fight prediction after all. Anything could happen. But I just think Cam Rowston beat a can on the Contender Series. I don't think he's UFC level. Maybe he can win me over. It's him and a few other guys. I'm not going to say, but if you know, you know who I'm not, I don't. They look probably great people at home, but I'm going to root against them, and I'm going for Andre Petroski in this fight. And I really, and it's sad because but I just like you gotta have fun with it though. You still gotta have fun with it. Cam Rowston had one knockout in 5 years, and people probably think he's a knockout artist. He's not. Watch how Finney fought him. That's probably how Petrosi's going to beat him. And that's my take on that fight. If I sound a little salty, it's just a little banter. I'm not actually upset. Hopefully Cam Rowston does well. Just hope he might lose this fight. So the next fight we got Navajo Stirling and Rodolfo Bellato. So I'm gonna go Stirling. Navajo Stirling, I think, but this I do want to say something about him. He should win, but he does not fight to his full potential. He hesitates a lot and he fights down. And he's getting better with that, but he should be finishing some of these guys realistically. He's talented, but just being talented is not the only thing. It's a lot to being a fighter, not only talent. It's a lot to it. But he's very technical. He will fight off that jab. He needs to be more imposing. And I don't want to say chase the finish, but he needs to when you land in a 3-4 punch combo, you might get hit. I'm not saying go out there and get hit, but don't hesitate. Like, don't throw these 1-1. Don't throw a jab all day or don't throw these kicks all day. You gotta eventually put yourself out there to go get these finishes. Cause I think he has the ability to. I think he has all the ability in the world. He just needs to go out there and be imposing. Bellato does marches forward. He doesn't move his head much. He's gonna throw some hooks. His striking defense is bad. He's not a bad fighter though. But I just think Navajo Sterling got enough wrestling to deal with deal with Bellato's wrestling. So I think Navajo Sterling does win this fight on every facet. However, like I said, he does fight to level his opponent sometimes, even though he's levels above it. I might not be giving Bellato enough credit, but let's see what he does. He beat a can on the Contender Series. Then I think he did go out there and get a good. He got a draw and he got a win in the draw. And then his last fight against Paul Craig, that was a bizarre fight. But let's see what Bellato got. Bellato's not a bad guy. He marches forward. He's going to throw punches, going to throw hooks. Very, very tough. He can rally back. I just think his striking defense bad. I think Navajo Sterling could take advantage of that. So that's why I'm going with Navajo Sterling. And now for our next fight, we got Tom Nolan versus Charlie Campbell. This fight is one of the closer. I mean, a lot of these fights are close, but this is another one of the close fights of the night. I'm going to go with Tom Nolan. Tom Nolan, this is the reason I'm choosing Tom Nolan. Because I think he sticks and moves and he won't be there for Charlie to like counter and I think he mixes it up better than Charlie Campbell. Now he's 6'3". Tom Nolan, the 6'3", is going to use his kicks. He's kick heavy. He's going to stick and move. He's going to fight at distance, but when he's not in a distance, he's going to be shooting for a takedown. Now, he do got some good takedowns. I'm not sure if he can get Charlie Campbell, but I think him mixing it up in the MMA fight does do what, like, it's going to be good for him. Charlie Campbell is going to have to, it's an uphill battle overcoming those kicks because while their reach is the same, and Tom Nolan is 6'3", and Charlie Campbell is 6 foot. So he's longer. Tom Nolan is longer. The reach is the same, but when you get to throwing kicks and stuff, that's when that's when they kind of like you get the advantage being taller, even though you might not have the longer reach. But when you kick heavy, that's when you get the advantage because now he got to go through the kicks to get to the punches, which he can. Charlie Campbell is capable of doing that. He's a good striker. He got the power, but I just see holes in his defense, and I think Tom Nolan can exploit those holes. And I think Tom Nolan can mix in the takedown also to make it a true MMA fight. And I do think he gets the win by doing that. And for the next fight, we got Louie Sutherland versus Justin Tafa. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to choose a Tafa brother in 2025. Now, Louie Sutherland, he's okay, but he just beat a bunch of cans. And I think Tafa, when he wins against UFC level cans. There's a difference between being can on a regional level and can in the UFC. Maybe Sutherland, maybe he can go out there and win, but I'm not going to pick against Tafa because I see him beat a guy like Austin Lane and Parker Porter, and I don't know if Louis Sutherland is better than a guy like Austin Lane. I'm gonna be honest. Um, and it is a little bit of a reach gap, but he got the ability. Justin Tafa got the ability to close the reach gap with his punches, and he got the one punch power. I didn't see a lot of that from Louis Sutherland. He land punches a bunches, but as far as like knocking guys out like Tafa, I don't see it. Now Tafa is he's a lower. Okay, look, it's only like 50 heavyweights in the world, so y'all remember this. But if it's half of the heavyweights in the UFC, he's the lower half of the heavyweights in the UFC. Sutherland, he could come in and be a good a lower half of heavyweight too, but I just need to see him win on the UFC level. It is guys that I pick who hasn't won the UFC. I have done that before. I didn't see what I need to see from Sutherland to pick him. He just beating cans. I need to see a little more than beating cans for me to pick you. That's just the reality of how I do my fight picks personally. But yeah, that's I just got top one in the fight by knockout. Next, we got Jake Matthews and Neil Magny. Are we doing Neil Magny pick? No, we're not. We're doing Jake Matthews. I was considering Neil Magny, but like when you watch the Dos Santos fight, I really don't know what the hell happened to Dos Santos. Like he was winning, then he wasn't. And he got a lot of fight experience, so I'm not sure why he's letting Magny rally on him. Now, Jake Matthews has to overcome a reach advantage, but he can. I think he can overcome a reach advantage. I think his fight um against Phil Rowe will look similar to this. They're going to be in grappling exchanges, but I do think at this point in their career, Jake Matthews is a little bit more dominant in the grappling exchanges. Jake Matthews will be sharper on the feet. Don't know if he gets the finish right here, but I do think he can win the clinch battles, take Magny to the ground. Magny's good on the ground, but I just think the athleticism would be the key difference because they're both skilled on the ground. Jake Matthews had a lot of fights in the UFC. Magny did too, but Matthews is a little younger, well, a lot younger, and he's a lot more athletic at this point. And I think that's what will win him the fight. And Jake Matthews has really good low kicks, like Ian Gary style. So I think he can take that fight the game plan that Ian Gary implemented against Magny. I think that Matthews could do the same thing, and then he got a lot better grappling than a guy like Ian Gary. So that's why I'm choosing Jake Matthews. I was considering Neil Magny, but ultimately, no, not choosing Neil Magny. The next fight we got Jack Jenkins and Roman Taveras. I was thinking about choosing Taveras, but I'm going to go Jack Jenkins. I think Jack Jenkins is the cleaner striker. I love how he ends his combo with kicks, and I love his calf kicks. And I think his calf kicks, that's what separates him from Taveras and his activity. Taveras does have power, but he don't got enough output. Even in the fight he won, he landed like half the strikes as his opponent. He just doesn't throw a lot of strikes against a guy like Jack Jenkins. I think you need to do that because if you let Jack Jenkins like you let him get these 3 punch combos. He might do a 3 punch combo in with a leg kick, so a 4 strike combo. He might land 2 or 3 of them, and he's going to be far ahead of you in the numbers. But he's actually going to land some damaging leg kicks, and that is the issue. That will be an issue later in the fight if Taveras can't put him out. And Taveras, I just don't think he throw enough to be putting people out. he got the power for one punch knockout, but I don't think he puts himself like a little flat footed. And once you getting chopped down with these calf kicks, how powerful can you be late round one, round two, trying to put somebody out with one punch? So I think his window will be early, but I just don't see he just don't throw enough for me to choose. And I think by the time he gets comfortable throwing, he's gonna be so far. Jack Jenkins gonna be so far ahead of him with the strikes and with the damage on the lead leg. Then it's gonna be a wrap. And Taveras is a southpaw. Jack Jenkins is orthodox, but Jack Jenkins switches to get his attacks across, and I think he will do that in this fight. And I do like him getting the win. Taveras, like I said, I was considering choosing Taveras, but I just, if you go look at his striking numbers, he just not enough output for me to choose him. Not enough output because now we're essentially landed. We're like banking on him landing just a hard punch and putting him out. I just don't see that happening, man. Honestly, so that's why I'm going with Jack Jenkins for the co-main event. This is the co-main event, guys. I'm not even kidding. Jimmy Crute versus Ivan Erslan. That's the co-main event, 2025 at UFC Perth. I mean, we did have like 16 fights, 17 fights, and that's what was the appeal to this card. But once you get to losing fights, and now this is a damn co-main, and this is Tuesday, so who's to say that on Friday somebody might have a bad week? Now it gets like a shitty card. But I got Jimmy Crute in this fight. Honestly, Ivan Erslan probably did good regionally, but in the UFC, he has not looked impressive. If you ask me, he does have power and he throws hard, but outside of that, then he's not too imposing in the UFC. So that's why I'm not choosing him. And then he's older. He's not imposing. Like it's like he was better regionally, then got to UFC and took a step back. And now that might be from the different competition, not necessarily his skill. But I'm just saying, when you get doing that, I'm not going to choose you. Now Jimmy Crute, he ain't the best either, but he's had some tough fights with like Alonzo Minifield. Took a long break, came back and won, and he's doing what you need to see from him. Take that long break. I did a breakdown, so I feel like I'm saying the same thing for him because he got the same path to victory, low kicks, don't get hit in the exchanges. He gets hit in the exchanges, which is dangerous because Ivan does have power, but he doesn't set it up properly to land punches, in my opinion, just raw power. And then Jimmy Crute got the takedown. He's going to try to get the takedown. He's going to try to get the clinch. I think Jimmy Crute wrestling is a little better than Navajo Stirling, so he should have success against Ivan Erslan. But let's see what happens. He is a slight favorite, Jimmy Crute. So I don't, obviously the line, the odds maker do see a path victory for Ivan, but I haven't seen what I need to see in the UFC to pick him. So that's why I'm going with Jimmy Crute in this one for the reasons I stated. And last but not least, we got the main event. We got Carlos Ulberg and Dominick Reyes. I'm going Dominick Reyes. Carlos Ulberg is good. He fights on the outside, and he fights long. Even though that sometimes he got the same reach as these guys, he fights like with his shoulder out, with his head back, which is good because he's fighting long and stuff. But against Dominick Reyes, he can't do that. Dominick Reyes will look to occupy that backhand, those body kicks, those low kicks, those high kicks. But he's ultimately trying to set up those hands and he's trying to put some pressure on that backhand to take some steam off of it. And Dominick Reyes took a long break after losing like 4 in a row, won his last 3, beat some good strikers. I think Carlos Ulberg is good, but he keeps fights too close. Like he doesn't like against Ozdemir, he wasn't like jumping in front of Ozdemir. Ozdemir had a chance in that fight. But against a guy like Dominick Reyes, you don't got the luxury to keep the fight close because Dominick Reyes is a damn good. He's a skilled martial artist, and he got power, and he got counter shots, and he's dangerous. And if he don't have these chin issues, and he's smart defensively, it's gonna be a long night for Ulberg. Ulberg doesn't put himself out there to. Ulberg throw these like 3-4 punch combos, and he puts his chin in the air, and he got caught by that early in his career, but he still does it. But he fights a little bit more defensively. But against a guy like Dominick Reyes, he won't have the ability to do that. So that's why I'm choosing Dominick Reyes to get the fight. The Red Ulberg does fight behind the lead hand, which is good, but he's going against another guy, big as him, long as him, strong as him. I think Reyes got more he got more punching power, and he lands. He's a really good counter striker. He's resilient, so that's why I'm going with Dominick Reyes to get the victory, and that's my full UFC Perth fight predictions. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe, and we're out.